sound.
You know, in this moment of racial reckoning, Black Lives Matter protests, and people trying to make sense of racial inequality in this country, something is rearing its ugly head again. And, you know, sometimes in conversations, my leftist ears will perk up when I hear people say that, you know, reforms on race are meaningless without economic empowerment. But soon I realize what people mean by that. They're not talking about working people running the economy for their benefit. They're talking about Black capitalism. More Black business owners, more Black-owned businesses, more Black people spending their money at Black-owned businesses. Black capitalism permeates our culture. Black people are constantly told by other wealthy Black stars that if only we learn how to invest right, we can overcome the structural barriers of poverty. After all, if Nas figured it out, you can too.
One thing that should have been really strong on our minds was business. This is America. This is capitalism at its finest. We're doing everything besides legal business. We're not caring too much about if America's saying stop complaining, get off your ass, Black guys, and make something yourself. Then it's like, for me, I'm like, okay, then let's start teaching the little dudes and little women on the block business, money management, and entrepreneurship. And we don't have any more time to waste. There's no more time to play around. We have to literally go back on the block with a plan, come down there and show them business modules and show them how they can get into computer programming, real estate, get into engineering, get into all the things that are making a lot of money, all the things that are making this country better. We can do it. It just needs to be cool. It needs to feel like it's something cool. It needs to feel like, all right, we tried this. Watch the movie Scarface. You know how that's going to end, right?
Before he yaps his mouth, sounds like a brother who's never read anything about history. Because if you know anything about history, you know that we have been businessed up and bootstrapped up. That's why people get on my nerves and like, well, new people come here and they'll live like 3 families to a house. Motherfucker, my mom grew up in the house with my great-grandmother, my grandmother, the great-great-grandmother. Like, I think a lot of us are the first generation out of not being in a multi-generational home. So, fuck you, we did that. Quit playing with me.
Yeah. And I think this is what I call this. Well, he's getting ready to get into it, I'm sure, because of course I didn't do my homework.
I didn't watch this segment either. I watched the Reconstruction segment, and that was boring.
And I'm like, my thing is, this is that what I call future worlds bullshit. What Nas is talking about is how to function in our current environment, in our current capitalist environment, right? We don't have the wealth to function properly in those spaces, right? And we don't have the power to function properly in those spaces. But we should know how to quote unquote defend ourselves in those spaces, right? Know how to move in those spaces, know how to acquire capital when it's available, learn how to navigate this world that we've been barred from forever, right? So to say that we're doing something wrong when we're reacting to the actual world in front of us, that's kind of foul. You know what I mean? Because they're talking about some future world where socialism or communism or whatever ism they want to talk about is going to make the world great, and that's what we need to be fighting for. But we've heard these promises from,
They're talking about Star Trek, but they don't want to do anything to get us there.
Exactly.
It's just supposed to automatically happen tomorrow. Give us all the same, and we'll all be equal, which doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and they only talking about on an income basis, right? On a weekly or monthly income basis.
Yeah, they're not talking about
they're
wealth.
Not talking anything about wealth. They're not talking about wealth at all. They just skip right over it. The left is entirely unequipped to run anything. These motherfuckers couldn't schedule a bus. You know,
for real. They shouldn't be in charge of the student council meeting at the high school. Like, no, y'all can't run the elections at the high school.
Leave them niggas alone. No. Leave them alone. They can run the school. They can run the bake sale. Leave them alone. All right.
Nah. They fucking burn the cookies.
Everybody weed in the damn bake sale.
If you need 2 cookies, you get 1 cookie. Everybody get 1 cookie. It don't matter.
And Black people get a half a cookie.
Right? This future world bullshit. They don't expect anybody. I'm sorry. My internet is lagging. I'm sorry, family. Go ahead, Sam. What did you say?
No, I said Black people get a half a cookie. Keep going.
Yeah. And they get on this bullshit And like I said, they only do this to us, right? They don't really tell nobody else to stop lobbying government for what they need. It's just us, right? They don't tell nobody else not to seek citizenship and get everything they can from the government. It's just us.
No, nobody talks to any other group of people the way that they talk to us. Could you imagine? I want to see these fucking people of color go up to a Jewish white woman and tell her to forget about the Holocaust. I want you to say that was a long fucking time ago. You need to fucking get over it. Fuck your family. That's what I want to hear you. Yeah, because that's what they tell us. That's what they tell us. So no, I want you to go.
Worse.
No, I'm just saying, I want you to go tell that to a person who can trace like all their family members that died in the Holocaust. I want you to go and tell them, fuck you. It was a long time ago. Get over it. I want you to go and tell people whose family members died in 9/11 when those planes went to those buildings. I want you to tell those people's families, fuck you, get over it. Like that happened in 2001. It's fucking 2021. It's 20 years later. Why are you still talking about that shit? And we want that money back that we paid those first responders, because you know that shit was 20 years ago. Fuck them.
And also, I watched that. When you watch them get a beat down, go to a Hasidic Jewish community and tell them to stop participating in capitalism. See how the fuck that works out for you. You will get yarmulke dust all over your ass.
I'm just saying, like, the way people talk to us, the way people talk to us is so motherfucking greasy. We can't talk to a non-citizen the way they talk to us.
No, and we can't talk to non-citizens anyway. You know, and we can't say shit to them. We'll talk about that later, though. Mud.
I mean,
come on, Mud, talk to us, man.
Talk to me, nigga.
I mean, shit. You guys basically said everything I wanted to say, because like this shit is frustrating, because like they want to tell Nas that they're like lecturing Nas about how he should be telling the kids to a plan for a world that doesn't exist. And in this world, or the people who are advocating for this world, are people who don't have any fucking political power at the present moment. So
they got the squad.
Let me tell you, listen, Nas's advice, his advice would have been better to be like, listen, boys and girls, what you need to do is get out here and marry you a rich man or a rich woman. Because that's the only way you really gonna make it in this world. It's either through winning the lottery or jumping on the right dickerpuss. This is your hopes and dreams. Because if you did not hit the lottery by birth, as in being born to somebody who was gonna leave you some shit, your next best option is to try to find somebody who can give that to you. Because Black business is a joke. And that's the thing. Like, can we stop pretending like it's not? Like, I know so many Black people who have started businesses, and that business is really charity. Like, you know, how many Black people own a Burlington's or a Ross or a Target? Like, let's keep it real. That's business. Amazon is business. One little store that you run that barely makes it out of the black every year is not a business. You're self-employed. Like, if you can't walk away from your business and it still run, you're self-employed. That's not a business.
I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean,
that's a good point. Yeah, and I think, I think that, you know, we. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. This lag is killing me, folks. I keep.
No, you're good. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead, MG. No, you good.
This lag is fucking me up. I forgot what I was gonna say.
MG signal's been fucked up ever since that white man blew up Tennessee. Hashtag never forget, goddamn it, bitches. Never forget a whole white man blew up downtown Tennessee and we forgot about it a week later. That was some 1984 shit. I don't know. See, I love sci-fi. There was this show called Fringe, and they would just like go in.
I remember Fringe. That was a good show.
Yeah, but remember how shit would happen, like a whole section of the city, and then they would just come up with like a makeup story and move on, like the shit never happened. That's what we did with the white man blowing up Tennessee or downtown Tennessee. Okay, go ahead, Mud. Did you have something, since MG is a loss for words?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it went down a memory.
I mean, shit. I guess
Can you hear me now? I'm
words
sorry.
too. Yeah. Oh,
Go ahead, Matt.
okay. Yeah, black capitalism is a joke, but this is the thing. Like, the reason why it's a joke is because we don't have any fucking capital. Like, so like this is the whole thing that he's not going to even touch on. He's gonna make this whole thing about us having the work controlling the means of production, the workers controlling the means of productions. That's going to be the whole argument he's going to go with, and he's never going to touch on the angle of us not having any capital, and that's why black capitalism isn't a fucking thing.
Blaming the victim? That's new. I've never seen leftists do that.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Mud. John, what you got, man?
Yeah, man. Yeah, this whole shit, what he's doing, this shit funny as hell, because it's like, say they would never do no shit like that with a Jewish celebrity. Like, look how wrong it would sound. It was like every time the Jewish people talk about economic empowerment, they're talking about Jewish capitalism. Man, see how crazy that shit sounds?
Let's talk about these.
What you doing?
Preach, John, preach.
Oh, God. I mean, like, it's just a double standard. The thing about it now is, like, a lot of our celebrities don't even understand. He's talking like we have social capital. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of black people, they talk like we Irish people or we poor Latinos, or you know what I mean? Like, everybody all confused about the shit. That's why he's talking. I understand what he's saying. We all understand what he's saying, but it's like, yo, bro, we don't got no bread. But what he's trying to do is he's trying to get black people on the side, because he know that we disproportionately poor, and he like, yo, if I get them to be on some old like wealth redistribution without paying the debt shit, then we definitely, you feel me? Like, I gotta get them, because you feel me? Like, real, like it's bullshit. Like, it's straight up bullshit. He know what he doing. He playing games and shit. The fact that we want reparations is motherfucking black capitalism. Like he's talking like it's so many layers to this shit. Like, what he's doing, all the trickery he's doing is fucked up. You know what I mean? Being disingenuous, man. He's doing bullshit. So that's all I got.
Yeah.
That's it.
Thank you, John. Yeah, and you're right. I mean, this is all a load of bullshit. And the wild shit to me is that these motherfuckers who have no power and they'll never have power without us.
They ain't never gonna have power.
Yeah, and they're watching the Democrats push forward with reparations with the HR 40 hearing on the 17th.
After they told us to go fuck ourselves.
After they told us to go fuck
months
ourselves
with Bernie, and so after Bernie.
They not only command the black vote, right? They are going to solidify their position with the black vote.
Especially that older black vote. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And the left is done. They are absolutely washed. Absolutely washed. And it's totally self-inflicted. Fuck them.
Fuck them.
Good for them. All right. Everybody good on that?
Listening to Reset Race, you're now tuned in to Reset Race. You're listening to Reset Race, you're now tuned in to Reset Race. What? Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Back on the grill again. We grilling them. You're listening to Reset Race. ADOS need reparations to make America great. You're tuned in to Reset Race. We no longer starving while others eat off our plate. No. You're listening to Reset Race. We focused on our justice claim. We know what is at stake. You're tuned in to Reset Race. You'll find out who really about justice and really who fake. Lineage go back to U.S. Southern plantations. Lineage, Jim Crow and mass incarceration. Redlining lynchings. We are old from this nation. You're not about justice if you ain't for reparations. MG the wise one. Cousin Mother intellectual. Samantha bringing fire. Anti-black. We pressing you. No permanent friends and no permanent enemies. The backbone of the country. To win, you need our energy. You gon' see. Listening to Reset Race. You now tuned in to Reset Race. You're listening to Reset Race. You're now tuned in to Reset Race. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Back on the grill again. We grilling them. You're listening to Reset Race. ADOS need reparations to make America great. You're tuned in to Reset Race. We no longer starving while others eat off our plate. No. You're listening to Reset Race. We focused on our justice claim. We know what is at stake. You're tuned in to Reset Race. You'll find out who really about justice and really who fake.
Until you do right by me, everything you think about is gonna crumble.
At the very same time that America refused to give the Negro any land, through an act of Congress, our government was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they give the land, they built land grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. Not only that, they provided county agents to further their expertise in farming. Not only that, they provided low interest rates in order that they could mechanize their farms. Not only that, today many of these people are receiving millions of dollars in federal subsidies not to farm, and they are the very people telling the black man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps. And this is what we are faced with, and this is the reality. Now, when we come to Washington in this campaign, we are coming to get our check.